Let's see.
Okay. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to
YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash.
The honor to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. All right, with a few brothers out the Great Millstone, Atlanta camp. All right, tonight we just want to get into just a quick lesson dealing with Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right, seeing that there's a lot of things happening in the Middle East, with the Taliban and Afghanistan, which we know that the Middle East is heavily mentioned in the prophecies, man. All right, because that's where World War III is going to take place at. Now, if you notice, or that's where it's going to start, rather. Mm-hmm. Now, you notice in the title, I put Prophecies Old and New, because when you go through Joel, the 3rd chapter, it starts out talking about Jake going into slavery, right? Which was a prophecy that has been, that has already come to pass, so to speak, But then when you read later on in the chapter, that's dealing with more so in the future, all right? And the Most High is, gathering these nations up. He has the tension going on in the Middle East, all the what, bringing past prophecy, man. Ultimately, World War III, right? We see the thumbnail I put was a mushroom cloud, man. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what all of this is leading up to, is totally America being totally decimated, destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, man. Right, which is what we patiently waiting for. All right, so if you want to start off,
This is Joel 3:1.
Mm-hmm.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel.
That's right, which the valley of Jehoshaphat is talking about that Middle Eastern land, that Middle Eastern region.
Right.
All right, which Jehoshaphat in Hebrew is YAHAWASHI.
That's right.
All right, which means basically, roughly paraphrasing it, or roughly translated, the place of the Most High's judgment. So what you're seeing on the news, on the different news outlets with Afghanistan and the Taliban and this and that going on, that's all the doings of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. All right, he's basically playing spiritual chess, so to speak, putting all the pieces in place, man. All right, for prophecy to come to pass. And then it said what? It said the Lord's going to basically turn the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, roughly paraphrasing. In other words, this is our last captivity, man. All right, here in Babylon the Great. All right, which is America.
That's right.
You have something?
Yeah, I got 2nd Ezra 13.
Okay.
I'll start at verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a great multitude of men out of number, and from the 4 winds of heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
Right.
And I beheld, and lo, and had graved himself on a great mountain, and flew upon it. Yeah, now this is talking about the multitude of men is talking about what we're talking about in the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, that's going to be a very because it said, I believe it said out of number. So that goes to show you how many troops are actually going to be in that region. It's not just going to be America and the Middle East. It's going to be basically all armies, all hosts, all right, that are going to be there. Now it says when it says after this, all they gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Okay, so that's talking about YAHAWASHI, because really, and it said subdue the man that came out of the sea. It said graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. That's talking about YAHAWASHI on the chariot, man.
That's right.
That's
right.
And basically, because really ultimately they're gonna all the conflict is gonna turn to trying to fight the Heavenly Father and the angels.
That's it.
You know, YAHAWASHI and the angels. So they're gonna basically turn the battle and all come together. You know, which I can't remember who said it, but one of those presidents basically said, would we not all basically get along to fight if there was a threat from outer space, you know,
Yeah,
just rough.
if I'm not mistaken, I think that was I think that's Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan
In the 80s. Yep. Yes, Ronald
That's
Reagan.
right. So I'll go back. We can jump back.
Okay.
Verse 3. No, I keep going to. It says, "I will gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land."
That's right. So our people was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You know, through the different various times we went into captivity. All right, especially in these times, man, we're all over. We're in North, Central, South America. You still got remnants of our people still in so-called Africa. Still, we scattered all over the place, man.
Right.
You know, and that's part of the curses. All right, so in Deuteronomy 28, all right, I was scattered thee among all nations. You know, go ahead.
It says, "And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine."
Right, this is going into when we came into captivity here in America. All right, it said, "Well, I sold a boy for a harlot and a girl for wine."
Yeah, they were bartering.
Bartering. That's right. That's right. A good depiction of that is the movie. Was like a documentary rather. Goodbye, Uncle Tom. Man. You know, which is a very very graphic depiction. You know what Jake went through in slavery. They had little boys oiled up, but it's just Esau's a freak, man. You know, and that's documented in the scriptures. They was actually doing that, man. They was selling our little young men for little toys or whatever. The girls, Ham was when they mixed it there selling wine and musket guns. It's gonna go into that, man. That's why we titled the video "Prophecies are Old and New," because this is a prophecy that was spoken of before time, but it already came to pass, man. You know, right. Go ahead.
It says, "Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head."
Right, which Tyre and Zidon, when you look it up, that's going into Ham. In particular, I think that's the Canaanite nations. You know, and then also spiritually, you can apply that to Esau as well. You know, because they had their hand in basically they was the main culprit, so to speak, in that slave trade, man.
That's right.
You know, the so-called Africans and the so-called white men. So basically, the Most High is saying, basically, in other words, the Most High is only dealing with Israel. The Most High is not dealing with you other nations. So what dealings do you have with YAHAWASHI Yahushua?
Right.
All right. It says what? Basically, are you gonna be able to pay the Most High back? For what you did to His people. You know. Go ahead.
It says, "Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things."
That's right.
Yeah, and they basically destroyed. They were responsible for destroying, all of the temples. The Babylonians. Who else?
Esau.
Esau. Yeah, the Greeks.
Romans.
Yep. Second temple.
Yep.
All right, and basically, and even now, even to today.
Yeah, that's right.
Basically, and really, right now, they're destroying the spiritual temple. All right, but it says, "You have taken my silver and gold, and carried away, and your temples, my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians."
That's right.
"That ye might remove them far from their border."
That's right. See, and that links with Deuteronomy 28 and 68, man.
Mm-hmm.
The 6 beasts about that shall be brought to Egypt again with ships. You know, thou shalt see it no more again. You should be sold to the hands of your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
Yep.
All right, because the Grecians are talking about the so-called white people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the original Greeks. All right, Alexander the Great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you read about that in First Maccabees.
It's all Esau.
Esau, man. It said when they came into power, it said evils multiply on the earth. That's the wicked, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's prophecy. All right, you know, watch movies about, you know, so-called blacks going into slavery. That's biblical prophecy that came to pass, man. That's one way to tell who the Israelites are.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you think about slavery and bondage, first thing you think about is, oh, damn, that's so-called black people.
Right.
When you think about the damn 1948er, like brothers call them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the so-called Jays. You ain't think about them. You think about so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Their hard oppression, man. You know?
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it says remove them far from that
Yeah,
border.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
shows
Yep.
that shows that they were taken to a whole another country across the side of the world.
That's right.
Which is the transatlantic slave trade.
That's
you
right.
said, Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah, that's right.
It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them,
Woo!
and will return your recompense upon your head.
See that? The Lord says He's gonna raise them out from where the place you had sold them. It's talking about what? The shores of America,
Mm-hmm.
which is where the great deliverance is gonna happen. Which you're gonna have Israelites delivered all throughout the world, all right? Because the elect is scattered throughout, but the main deliverance is gonna be here in America, man. The place where you sold us into slavery. You know? Go ahead.
It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it.
Right. Now this jumps ahead. This talking about in the kingdom.
Future, yeah.
In the future.
Mhm.
If you want to get Revelation 13, you know,
Yeah.
the classic scripture. Because what's about to happen is about to be, as brothers call it, trading places.
Yep.
You see? Because, you know, pursuing I think that's Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter. It says, I've seen servants upon horses
Mm-hmm.
and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Yep.
So right now the roles is not in order.
Mm-hmm.
You got the damn peasant, miscreant Esau on the top, and you got the sons of God, you know, through on this side, man.
Mm-hmm.
What's about to happen after America is destroyed and your system is brought down? It's gonna be flipped back up. We're gonna sell your ass into slavery, man.
That's right.
You know, go ahead.
Yeah, it says, Revelation 13 and 10,
Yeah.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
That's it.
Here is the patience in the face of the saints.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, hey, that's future prophecy, because basically, hey, the Lord got our back, man.
That's
All
right.
those things, you watch movies like you mentioned, Goodbye Uncle Tom,
Mhm.
all those different things.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that shit make you angry, man.
That's right.
And you know, this devil has done a lot to our people. So it's only right that these things be done to him. You know, now we ain't gonna do all the things he did. We gonna do it in righteousness, but
Exactly.
we still gonna whoop his ass, man.
That's right.
And basically, it says it says sell your sons and your daughters. So we're gonna have a slave trade the same way.
That's right.
We're gonna have this. We're gonna be selling Edomites the same way we were
Yep.
sold.
Yep.
You know,
That's it.
might even bring them by ship.
Yeah.
Probably have their asses stacked up.
This is a mock. She did it. That's gonna do it to your ass now,
Mhm.
man.
Probably have their ass crammed up in a
Yeah.
tight ship.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of scenario, man.
That's right.
You know, similar, really worse.
Yes,
You know, but it says, well, this is gonna go into it switches gears right here in verse
Yeah.
9.
If I could add too, in that was that verse 8 you just read.
Yeah.
Now the part where it mentions the Sabians. If I'm not mistaken, when you look that up, I believe the Sabians is a Hamite tribe or Hamite nation. Because you're gonna have basically taskmasters in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have even though all nations, all right, want to be subject to Israel, they're gonna be tributary, we're gonna have them in captivity, but Esau is gonna be the lowest of the low.
Mm-hmm.
So even so we're gonna allow these other nations to even put you to work, so to speak. We're gonna have Ham as taskmasters. We're gonna have Ishmael as taskmasters, which basically a taskmaster is a person who enforces, like
overseer,
like an overseer, or they enforce the agenda of who's ever over them. So we're gonna be over the nations, but we're gonna be busy handling this and that, helping YAHAWASHI, you know what I'm saying, dealing. We're gonna put Ham to work and have them put Esau to work, so to speak. So we're gonna be trading, and again, that's also in the way of like flipping it, because they sold us to the Sabians,
right?
To the Ham and the Ishmael, that transatlantic slave trade, man. So the Most High is bringing it full circle, man. But you go ahead, like brother said, the next verse, this one it switches gears. The prophecy's old and the prophecy's new, so now it jumps ahead, to the future. That's right.
Yeah, and the scriptures do that a lot.
Right.
That's why, and you gotta have this. You gotta have basically a spiritual eye.
That's right.
To be able to understand these things.
That's
because it basically jumps. It jumps around. Verse 9 it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." And hey, that's what's going on right now.
That's right.
Hey, we've been seeing a lot of World War III activity, man. Especially with the Taliban basically gearing or taking over Afghanistan. Also you can't forget about really what was that last year? Or was that about a little bit about a year and a half ago with the Iranian general?
Yeah.
America basically took him out.
Yep.
All right. Now it says
Yep.
Oh, and we're gonna see more. Hey, be prepared for a major false flag attack.
Yep.
Some sort of terrorist attack coming soon, man. On American soil.
Right.
They're gonna bring 30,000 Afghanis here. And in America, and like I said, Taliban was a and they're planning to send airstrikes on the areas where the Taliban had acquired those weapons as well. So hey, we could be weeks, even months away from a major draft to go into World War III.
That's right.
That's how close we are, and that's how these things are playing out, man. I keep going. It says verse 10.
Because I real quick to back you up, because brothers was sharing links and sharing articles. This is one of the it's a YouTube video. I'm just read the title and the little description they got. Just to back the brother up. It says DHS issues terrorism advisory amid heightened threat environment. So the Department of Homeland Security has issued their terrorism threat advisory after analysis of possible threats across the country. Like you said, now the stage is set for possible terrorist attack. Because these damn funky ass Afghanistan people into the country, which it's all staged, it's all set up, man. Now you sort of justify. Well, see, get the terrorist attack. Was basically going to be worse than 9/11. We basically believe. But it's because you let all these, like you said, 30,000 people or whatever flew into the country. Basically, none of them ain't got the jab. It's just a big
mess now.
Big mess, man.
And America's hypocritical because what about all the what about all the so-called, what about all the Issacharites? Here it is, you're trying to build a wall to keep them out. That's a cut. That's a cut, man. Because it's like you trying to keep all these other nations of people out, but then these Afghanistan's, all because they country is in turmoil.
Exactly. Now
you just gonna willingly accept those immigrants. That's how you know America's full of shit, man. And that's how you know that something is gearing up soon, because they actually want those. They want those immigrants to come, or those refugees rather.
Right.
They want them to come here so they can blame it on them when something happens, man.
That's it.
We know, man. We done seen this, man.
That's it.
We done seen this. Brothers been watching Prophecies, watching the news.
That's right.
We've been watching. We've had our eye on Esau for a minute, man.
That's
so
right.
We already know what's up, man.
Yeah.
from 9/11, you know, which that was connected to. Well, they tried to connect that to the terrorism over there in the Middle East as well. Then you had the whole movement with the weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
Which that whole thing was a total waste. The whole weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah,
now that the Taliban is back in power, that's 20 years of 20 years of progress that you lost, Esau.
That's right.
You got it.
Yeah, that quick precept. We bring this out all the time. This 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Beautiful.
See? Now when you go into this word devices in the Greek, I forgot what the Greek word is. When you go into the definition, where it says devices, it mentions like the evil plot or the plan, like basically the plans of this devil. You know, we know that Esau Edom is the physical counterpart of Satan on the earth. Lord, they make us ignorant to that, man. Ignorant means to not know. Like brothers broke down, we seen your ass from a mile away, man. 9/11, we know that was set up. All these other things, this current thing with Afghanistan is all set up. All right, the Lord gave us that, you know, gave that spiritual eyesight, all right, or the eyesight to be able to see, man. So, you know, anything you come with, brothers like, nah, false flag, or it's set up. We go into the interiors, link everything together with prophecy. You know, basically the Most High is basically exposing you, man. You're not able to just get away with these lies and propaganda. It ain't working no more, man. You know? But yeah, man, I'll read one more time. Let's say it should get an advantage of us. And that's the thing. Satan, you know, you're not going to get the upper hand on the elect. Lord willing, we have that number. Now, these people, you're going to fool them all day. But you're not going to get the advantage over who the Most High chose. It says, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right? You know, that's the point.
I'll keep going. It says, verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Yeah, and these are plowshares and pruning hooks are work instruments.
Right.
All right. Now it says basically turn those into swords and spears. Basically, get ready for war. And like I mentioned, the draft. There's going to be a major draft very soon. They're already basically getting women, accepting women into the draft.
Right.
You know, that goes to show how desperate they are as well. Because what country? That's America. That's America the Great. What country sends women off to war?
Right.
But in this modern day and age, you have women that are equal to men, and they send them off as well.
Right.
Now, verse 11: assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves round about. Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. All right, and going back to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is getting ready to go into, but all these nations are basically being stirred up into a major conflict. All right, and it's getting hot, man.
Yeah,
it's getting real hot, and America is right in the center of all that conflict, man. America is right there, just in the middle of it. And this guy Biden, he ain't doing shit, man.
He ain't got it, man.
You know,
he ain't got it.
Had it been Trump in office, man, Trump would have been you know, calling shots.
Yeah.
He probably would have been done sent airstrikes on Taliban.
Yes.
You know.
Yep.
But hey, this is the stage, man. This is how it's playing out, and it's all playing out according to the Heavenly Father's plan, man.
That's right.
You know.
Yes, it's scripture say, was it Proverbs 20? Say a man's going as the Lord. How can a man understand his own way? Everybody on the earth is basically like a robot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Either you're a robot for Satan, or you're a robot for robot for righteousness, so to speak.
Right.
You know, so all these nations, they're military generals that give the orders. We're going to do, you know, Biden, his handlers, you know, the elites. Everybody's controlled by YAHAWASHI. Ain't nobody just on the earth doing their own thing. Hell, us doing this video, the Lord put the Spirit on us. Say, hey, brother, you want to do a lesson? That's the Spirit. The Lord directed us. Just how He's directing you, you elites or you leaders to put this war together, man.
That's it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Proverbs 21:1.
Oh yeah.
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
That's it.
As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Yeah, so hey, like you just said, you know, the kings, which is your presidents, prime ministers, all these different people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the Lord is basically using the angels to work on their minds.
That's right.
And to, you know, basically make them do what they're doing, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stir up these conflicts, stir up their hearts.
Yep.
All right, so that they'll basically fulfill His purpose.
That's it. That's it.
All right. Verse 12.
Yeah.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Mm-hmm.
And that is beautiful, man,
Yeah.
because that's going to be the time when the Lord will really touch all these heathen, man.
Yeah, man.
Because it says, judge all the heathen round about.
That's right.
The Lord is actually going to, just think about that. The Lord is going to gather together all of our enemies into one valley of judgment. Yahawah's judgment. And he's going to basically get down, man.
That's right. That's right.
All of our enemies into one place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's the mercy. That's the everlasting mercy of the Lord. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Because we did fuck up, man.
Right.
You know,
That's right.
Israelites, you fucked up. Our forefathers went off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yet the Lord is vindicating us, and He's going to take out all of our enemies. He's going to gather them together into that valley, man.
That's right.
All right. And we're going to see that very soon, man. I keep going. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full.
Right. Which a sickle. You know, we see an image of the you know, people call the Grim Reaper.
Mm-hmm. That's a sickle.
That tooling's in. That's a sickle. And it says what? Which is really represents death. So when it says the harvest is ripe and it's full, meaning basically judgment is ready to be issued out, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got a quick precept to that. This is Revelations 14, 14 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, which essentially the Grim Reaper is talking about YAHAWASHI. All right. It says, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel, is for verse 15, and another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, which is YAHAWASHI, thrust in thy sickle. All right, it's what it's talking about in Joel 3, and reap. For the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. See that? So now's the time, basically, YAHAWASHI he's going to basically bring both. He's going to bring death, and he's going to bring life, so to speak.
Life to the elect.
Life to the elect,
Mm-hmm.
via salvation through the chariots. All right? So basically, the Lord over in the Middle East everything's getting, like you said, the nations getting gathered up, they're being put in that one area, you know, and it's almost time for the Lord to reap, man. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming right there, man. But like, you know, like the apostles always say, you can't mention that without mentioning the MOTB. All right, which is the acronym for the mark of the beast.
Yeah, which are those are the main two prophecies that have yet to come to pass.
Right.
Man. You know,
That's
but
right.
we're seeing the process of it. That's why.
See it, man.
That's why these cats that aren't teaching the MOTB, they ain't got it, man, because we're seeing so much evidence. We're seeing a lot of evidence of World War III. We're seeing so much evidence of where it's gearing toward.
Right.
If you all you gotta do is just turn on the news, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's right.
it's easy to see. But I keep going. It says,
Getting a couple more verses.
yeah, multitudes in the valley of decision. Oh wait, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. And it says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Right.
Basically symbolic that it's going to be a very, very dark day. All right. You know, the valley of decision, which that's judgment.
That's right.
Going to YAHAWASHI, the valley of judgment, man.
Yep. Yeah, that's like you said, it's literal and spiritual too. Because remember, the sun and the moon represent wisdom and knowledge. So the wisdom and knowledge of this world that people go by, that's going to be done away with. It's not going. Basically, it's not going to prosper you anything. You know, the only thing that's going to stand that day is His truth. All right, the will of YAHAWASHAM YAHAWASHI. And like you said, the actual sun and moon is going to be blacked out because there's going to be war going on, man. Missiles flying, all right, chariots covering the sky. All right, the earth is going to have a dark hue or a dark tint, man.
Yeah.
You got something?
Yeah, Joel 2:10.
Oh yeah.
The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Right. Why is the earth going to tremble and shake? Because of the missiles hitting this place, man. All right. That links with I think it's Isaiah 24. If I'm not mistaken, it says the earth shall rip to and fro like a drunkard. It shall be removed like a cottage. How's that going to happen when these nations shoot these missiles off, man?
Yeah.
In particular, to America. America's going to be the ultimate target, man. And the earth is going to actually shake. And then you're going to have the smoke going up. You're going to have the chariots going to be in the midst of that. So the earth is going to be darker than what you typically see, man.
Right.
It's going to be daytime, but it's going to look dark. You're like, God damn. Plus the wisdom of this place, of this world, is going to fall.
Right. It says, the Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter His voice from Jerusalem, and all the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of His people and the strength of the children of Israel. And that's like you said. It's twofold.
That's right.
Because you have judgment coming, all right, and at the same time you have the Lord getting ready to save. And that's beautiful, man.
That's right.
Those that are destined for because you have objects of mercy, you have objects of wrath.
That's right.
So those that were fitted to destruction are just going to be fitted to destruction.
Yes,
those that are fitted to wrath, fitted to salvation are going to be fitted to salvation. You got something?
Yeah, that quick precept, Lord, what you said. So how basically the Lord is going to do both. He's going to come to destroy, but also to save. It's Isaiah 31:5. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending, which the birds represent what the so-called UFOs. As birds flying, because the birds flying in that certain formation, He's coming to defend us. Because why? The chariots is going to also be shooting out fire. The laser beam. It says, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, He will deliver it. And passing over, He will preserve it. See, so the chariots have a dual purpose. You got the fire from the missiles, which is already hot enough, but to add on top of that heavenly, heavenly spiritual fire coming from the shit, man.
Right.
Add on top of the destruction, but at the same time, this is what the Lord's also going to deliver Jerusalem, because the elect, the 1/3 is going to be beamed up and saved from that coming doom, so to speak, that fire, man.
Right.
Yep.
It says, let me see. Verse 17. For so shall ye know that I am the Lord your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, because in the kingdom, it's only going to be ran by the elect.
That's right.
Okay, the 144,000, the governing body of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. And it ain't going to be no heathens
right.
in the midst of the city, man.
Right.
Not in the holy city.
And then, and also the other side, it's not going to be no Israelite foreigners. Everybody's going to be Israelites.
Israelites.
Ain't gonna be no Israelite. He's an Israelite foreigner.
Pure blood.
Pure blood, man. Everybody want to be straight, Yeah. You got it.
It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountain shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim.
That's right. Yeah. That's why this is a new prophecy that's about to come to pass. This is talking about in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the Lord is going to bless our land. We go back to Deuteronomy 28, verses 1 to 14. It speaks about the blessings. The Lord is constantly spoke about our land being blessed, the land flowing with milk and honey. Our crops are going to grow. We're going to, reap the increase of the earth. Mm-hmm. The fatness of the earth, so to speak. We're going to be blessed, man. All right, in the world to come. Go ahead.
That's right. It says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
Woo!
For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
That's right. Let's see how it brings it full circle. Mm-hmm. When we started off the chapter, it spoke about, the goddamn Grecians selling us into slavery, man. Mm-hmm. To the Hamites, Ishmael, and all that. So it said, and that's how it said what? Egypt shall be a desolation in Edom, right? Because why? We in modern day Egypt right now, the place of our captivity, and is being ruled by Esau Edom, which is so-called white man. So this land is going to be a total desolation, man. All right, desolate means empty. This land is going to be utterly wasted, man. It's a complete desert. All right, go ahead.
Right. It says, verse 20, but Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation.
Right.
For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion.
Right. And that's the point. Yeah, the Lord's going to set us up. All right, the so-called niggas, I tell them, Native Americans, going into the new covenant. All right, give us the basically put the laws on our inward parts, going to clean us of all sins, and we're going to be perfect, man. And the Lord's going to establish us as the new rulers of the earth in this coming world, man.
That's right.
You see? So these are prophecies that we're patiently waiting on. Mm-hmm. And we see how things are rolling out. We see how YAHAWASHI is basically setting the stage for these things to come to pass, man.
That's right.
So all we gotta do is just constantly endure, keep the faith, and just wait. Really, just watch. My brother say, "Hey, man, just watch this, watch that." That's what we gotta do. Mm-hmm. Like YAHAWASHI said, "Watch ye as well as pray, man."
That's it?
Yeah. You had something else?
Nah.
All right.
Closing.
All right, yeah, man. So, just wanted to, go through that real quick. Lord willing, he was edified. Shalom to everybody that tuned in on the comment board. All right. So we're going to sign off, giving all praise, honor, and glory to
YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash.
Double honor to the apostles, that was a great millstone. Shalom to the elect. Lord willing, to the next lesson, we'll say shalom.
Shalom.